A trip to the state tournament is on the line beginning tonight in a best of three as a Post State hosts Harrisburg here at Hyde Stadium as the Super Region round is just about set to begin. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean here on this Monday evening. Glad you could join us. As Greg, this is going to be a great matchup. 4-5 matchup should be the best on paper. The best is we're going to see here all of this Super Region round. And these two teams, they split in the doubleheader, 8-2 and 16-3 back a couple weeks ago in Harrisburg, and now here at home, where Post State is a much better home team than a road team. This is going to be a dogfight for the first of two wins.
Absolutely, and this is a series because it's a 3-game series. You have to win 2 out of 3 in order to qualify for the state tournament. And this is going to be a series that I think is really going to be determined as to which team does the little things, which team makes the fewest mistakes. Because as well as Harrisburg hits the long ball, if the Pierre pitching staff leaves a pitch up in the zone, we have talked about the power of this Harrisburg team. Probably a team that you just will not see around again very often. I mean, they've hit 39 home runs in 44 games. I mean, that's an amazing stat. If you think that you have a team that's hit almost 1 home run a game, and so on the counter side to that, when Pierre went down to Harrisburg, Harrisburg committed 7 errors in the first game. I mean, they were just very sloppy in the field, and so I think really what you look at is this is going to be a series that's going to be determined by who makes the fewest mistakes.
And if you heard this morning, Coach White talked about those 7 errors that Harrisburg had. Post State did a great job of forcing those errors. They weren't just unforced errors. They were ones that they were ground balls and hard out of the box, and that's what Post State's got to do here in these games. Is hard out of the box and up and down the line and force Harrisburg to make those tough plays and see if they can force the 7 errors. Maybe not so many 7 errors in one game, but force errors to take advantage of again.
Yeah, and again, this is a situation where Pierre is just going to have to be very fundamentally sound. They're going to have to limit the fielding errors, limit the mental errors, and then just go play good, sound, fundamental baseball. And if they do that, they put themselves in a position to win a couple of ball games and head to wherever the highest seed is next Saturday.
There's a lot that is going to be yet to be determined. There's one game going on right now, Watertown and Renner. We'll give you an update on that. So Brandon Valley, Mitchell, they start at the same time. Hard Hats and Stars, they will take place. That starts at 6 o'clock. Those are the 4 winners of these series. 2 games today, 1 game tomorrow if necessary. And the 4 winners will meet in the state tournament this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Post State looks to be one of those 4 teams as they have the opportunity at home against Harrisburg. Post State, the home team in Game 1. They'll be the visitors in Game 2, and then back to the home team if necessary in Game number 3. Starting lineups are being announced right now on the field. We'll have those for you next, as well as first pitch coming up here at 5 o'clock. Back in 3 minutes, you're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Give me another minute and a half. As we welcome you back to Heinz Stadium, we are set for baseball here this evening. And John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. As we go through the starting lineups, first for Harrisburg, it'll be Chase Mason to lead things off. He is pitching. Tyson Kogel, the shortstop, will bat second to play shortstop. Then Zeb Weedy will be the second baseman batting third. Peyton Metzger, the cleanup hitter, playing third base. Timon Long, the catcher, batting fifth. Jack Rayburn, the center fielder, batting sixth. Chase Lucas will bat seventh to play first base. Ethan Rollinger, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Jack Tigan, the left fielder, he will bat ninth for Post State. Jack Van Camp is on the mound here in game number 2. And it is a repeat, it is a repeat of game 2 of the first time these two teams met back in Harrisburg, as Van Camp is going against Chase Mason. Van Camp went 1 1/3 inning, gave up 9 runs on 5 hits. All 9 were earned at 3 strikeouts and 4 walks. Chase Mason will step to the plate. Jack Van Camp is on the hill, and the first pitch of the Super Regional round is through to the plate and out inside for ball 1, and we're underway here at 4:59. And a little bit unceremoniously, that first pitch goes inside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 from Van Camp to Mason. That one will come in and hit Mason, and the leadoff man is Zabor to open up the ball game. So that's not the way that Post State was hoping to start this ball game. But it'll bring up Tyson Kogel, and a ground ball can quickly get things back to where they want to be, as Mason is hit by a pitch for the 7th time here this season.
Yeah, and I think probably just a little bit of a case of nerves going out. Big start here for Jack Van Camp, and you really kind of got to get through that first inning and just kind of settle into a little bit of a rhythm. And once you get through that first inning is a lot of times the most important inning that you have as a pitcher.
First pitch to Tyson Kogel is outside for ball 1. As that one, Kogel coming in with a batting average of .270, 3 home runs on the season, 14 runs driven in, and a home run in that game 1 win, 8-2 for Post State. As Kogel went on that day, went 1 for 4 against Post State. It's a team that didn't have much of a problem against Sioux Falls West. Runners off the pitch, taken for strike 1. The throw is in time, and Stout puts down the tag on Mason. And that leadoff hit by pitch is taken off the board. Caught stealing, and the count is 1-1.
Yeah, and if that ball is anywhere other than where Kate Hinkle threw that ball, Mason probably would have been safe, but it was just a one hop right at the base, and Stout put the ball right on Mason, and a bang bang play, but the umpire right on top of the play and made the call and correct call, and Post State may have avoided at least a runner on second, runner in scoring position, nobody out.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one just a little bit low. Now it's 3-1. And so Van Camp's got to find the strike zone. Can't allow a second free pass. Able to knock off the board the first one, but starting to play with some fire if you're going to walk and put the first two guys on base. 3-1 is on the outside corner. Now it's 3-2. That's the pitch that Van Camp likes. A lot of times the right-handed hitters, but here to a left-handed hitter, still likes that outside corner. Loves to, if you get that call, he's a much, much better pitcher when he's getting that call. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. And Kogo goes down on strikes, and there's two down here in the top of the first as we go around the horn defensively for Post State. River Iverson's out in left field, Matt Lusk in center, and A.J. Gayton in right field. Lincoln Keenel's the third baseman, and Garrett Stout the shortstop, and Andrew Coverdale at second base with Andy Gordon at first. Kate Hinkle behind the plates as the first pitch to Zeb Weedy from Jack Van Camp is outside for ball one.
And a team that, and we may see this more, as the game progresses, but Harrisburg being a team that hits as many home runs as they do, you probably will not see them use small ball. I mean, put many bunts down if they get into a situation where they have runners and are trying to move runners into scoring position. You're going to see that a lot from Post 8.
Count is 1-1 here to the three-hitter, Zeb Weedy. Here is the 1-1 pitch from the left-hander. Upstairs now 2-1. We were kind of talking about that in the pregame, that one team was going to try and hit the ball in the yard. The other team's going to try and keep the ball almost in the infield more times than not. And it's going to two different styles of game, but two really good teams at what they do. The 2-1 is foul back, and it's now 2-2. There's a team, again, in Harrisburg that comes in. That was the 328th time they've struck out this season when Kogel struck out there. To put that into comparison, 290 hits to 328 strikeouts now on the year. That's that's not a recipe for a lot of success. As that one is looked at for a strike three, and Van Camp has a 1-2-3 inning, a little unconventional of a 1-2-3 inning, but no runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the first as Post State comes to the plate. No score between Pierre and Harrisburg. You listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here for the bottom of the first inning as we go through the Post State lineup. Leading it off is going to be Garrett Stout, the shortstop. He'll be followed by River Iverson, the left fielder. Andrew Coverdale is batting third, playing second base. Andy Gordon, the first baseman, in the cleanup spot. McGuire Rasky is the DH, batting fifth. Matt Lusk will bat sixth and play center field. Lincoln Keenel is the third baseman, batting seventh. A.J. Gayton, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Kate Hinkle rounds out the order as he bats ninth. Of course, Jack Van Camp is on the mound for Post State. They go against Chase Mason, who beat them back in game number 2. Mason didn't have too many stressful pitches outside the first inning when he gave up those 3 runs to Post State. Then it was all zeros after that. He went 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks through 77 pitches. Post State had a 3-0 lead in game 2, and then it was quickly gone. They're down 4-3 and then down 11-3 after the bottom of the second. So Chase Mason didn't have a whole lot of stressful pitches in that game. But he works from the stretch and delivers the first pitch to Garrett Stout, low for ball 1. Garrett Stout leads the team in just about every offensive category. 62 hits on the season, a batting average of 4-13 as it's now 1-1 to Stout. 7 home runs, leading the team in home runs, leading the team, tied with the team lead in RBIs with 32, and 11 doubles. There's a chopper at the mound, fielded by Mason. The throw to first is in time, and it was up the line, and Stout had to avoid the first baseman in Lucas. So both guys didn't get injured, but the leadoff man is retired to open up the bottom of the first.
Mason comes in 45 2/3 innings pitched. This is his 11th appearance on the year, 10th start. He's 5-1 on the year, 1.69 ERA and a WHIP of under 1.964 and 76 strikeouts in those 45 2/3 innings pitched. So he's right at about 1.5 strikeouts per inning. So he can bring the heat.
0-1 pitch to River Iverson's fouled out of play, and it's now 0-2. As we look at River Iverson, too, you look at how many hits he has in Iverson, and half of his hits have been about infield hits. He's got 36 on the season. That one's grounded to the second baseman, fielded by Weedy, the throw to first. And it's 2 up and 2 down here. As we go around the horn defensively now for Harrisburg, Jack Tigan's out in left field. It is, Jack Rayburn in center field, Ethan Rollinger in right, Peyton Metzger, the third baseman, Tyson Kogel, the shortstop, Zeb Weedy, the second baseman. The first baseman is Chase Lucas. Timon Long behind the plate, and Chase Mason delivers strike one to Andrew Coverdale on the off-speed pitch. And it's 0-1 to the number 3 hitter, Andrew Coverdale. The 0-1 from Mason to Coverdale. Off-speed pitch again, and Coverdale lost it out to center field, going back on it, still going back to the center fielder in Rayburn, but he will make the catch, and it is a 1-2-3 inning for Chase Mason. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. After one full inning, Pierre and Harrisburg tied at 0. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the second inning as Peyton Metzger will lead things off. Another left-handed hitter in the order for Harrisburg. First pitch from the left-hander, Jack Van Camp, comes inside for ball 1. Metzger, Long, and Rayburn, first 3 hitters here in the top of the second, 4, 5, and 6. Be followed by Lucas, Rollinger, and Tigan. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Stairs 2-0.
Metzger comes in hitting .291 on the year, 32 hits, 110 at bats. 5 doubles, 3 triples, among the team leaders in triples, a pair of home runs, and 23 RBIs on the year.
Here's the 2-0 to Metzger. That one misses low, and it's quickly 3-0. Here's the leadoff hitter in the top of the second. Van Camp hit the first hitter in the first inning, although Mason then was retired on a caught stealing. 3-0. Inside, it's a 4-pitch walk. And Van Camp was allowed the leadoff runner on base with a free pass in the top of the first and second. Here's Timon Long, who had himself a pretty good second game against Post State. They won 16-3, but he went 2 for 3 with 6 runs driven in, hit a home run. And those 2 hits had a lot of damage against Post State. He's got a runner on first here with nobody out. First pitch to him is over for strike 1. He's the team leader in the batting average at .354, with his also in RBIs as well with 33. Van Camp will work from the stretch. He'll come set, and here's the 0-1. That was grounded foul to the first base dugout. Takes a high hop and almost went out of play, but now 0-2.
Yeah, and the wind today is blowing in lightly from the southeast, so it's almost a wind that you're going to see come in almost straight from center field. And for a team that hits a lot of home runs, you kind of wish that maybe it was blowing in a little stronger than what it is. But you take the conditions as you get them.
And Tyman Long will check his swing, does not check his swing, and it will be another strikeout for Jack Van Camp. His third already in just an inning and a third. And that'll bring up Jack Rayburn. And this is the name of the game for Harrisburg. They strike out a lot, and you're going to see that strikeout total probably be higher and higher in this game, in the series, as a first pitch to Jack Rayburn's a swing and a miss. They're free swingers, and they love to sit on a fastball, and it's kind of like Major League Baseball. You hit 30 bombs on a season, you can strike out as much as you want, and we're okay with that. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one is over for strike two, and it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, and they are very much built offensively like a major league club. You're going to see a lot of home runs, but you're also going to see a lot of strikeouts. And this is Harrisburg's a team that really grinds the count. I mean, they have 239 walks as a team coming into the game. That's over 100 more than Post 8.
The 0-2 is a swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Van Camp. He's got 4 of 5 guys retired down on strikeouts. And that'll bring up Chase Lucas, the first baseman. Another left-hander into the order for Harrisburg. This Pierre and Harrisburg, it looks more like a Major League 2 lineups because of how many left-handers are in the order for both teams. You don't see that until you get towards the major leagues. Here's the first pitch to Lucas. It's half swing, but he goes around, and it's 0-1.
And something you'll see today out of Pierre's defense, they really are playing, especially the left-handed hitters for Harrisburg. They're really playing them to pull. Garrett Stout on Lucas is just a couple of steps to the left of second base.
Throw to second on the steal, and he is going to be safe at second as Metzger. And the count is, I believe, 1-1. And time is called. Metzger is getting everything worked out over at second base. Looked like both the Metzger and Stout got a little tangled up over at second. But the count is 1-1 here to Chase Lucas, the first baseman, and Van Camp with 2 strikeouts already here in the inning, trying to strike out the side again. There's the 1-1. Inside and high, 2-1 to Van Camp, or to Lucas from Van Camp.
And just an interesting stat here, Harrisburg has 39 home runs on the year, only 172 singles. Pierre, meanwhile, has hit 14 home runs, 312 singles on the year. So if there's anything that shows the difference between a power team on one side of the field and a small ball team on the other side of the field, that's probably what does it.
The 2-2 pitch. Outside and high, and the count is full at 3-2. There is an open base at first. Ethan Rollinger is on deck, the right fielder. And we'll see how Van Camp wants to attack with that open base over at first. And a right-handed hitter, Rollinger on deck. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Comes inside, and it will be take ball 4. And the second walk issue of the inning. Not the worst thing with the open base, and now ground ball can get you out of the inning on any of the 3 bases around the infield. But here is Ethan Rollinger, the right fielder. Van Camp and the 4 strikeouts so far. I believe 3 of those 4 have been right-handed hitters. The first pitch is outside for ball 1. 3 umpires here for this series. That helps a lot of those calls are on the first base and third base line, as well as giving an extra look as the 1-0 pitch. That one is at the letters and taken for strike 1. Renner and post 17 Watertown, 2-1 lead for Renner in the bottom of the 5th inning up in Watertown. Renner's looking for an upset, 6 over the 3 seed. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swinging and a foul back, and it's 1-2, and Van Camp's a strike away from getting out of this inning.
Yeah, and just from what we've seen so far, Van Camp may be struggling a little bit with the left-handed hitters, at least so far today. Right-handed hitters, he's been fairly dominant.
Here's the 1-2 from Van Camp. Here's a fly ball out into left field. Iverson comes in, dives, and he makes the catch. It ends the inning. River Iverson with a diving catch out in left. And we remain scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second. Post State in Harrisburg. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the second inning, and it will be Andy Gordon, McGuire Rasky, and Matt Lusk. And obviously a diving catch every time, Greg. You kind of can look back at that, but more so in this type of a series and between these two teams, that diving catch could be a difference maker in this ball game as we sit with no score here in just the bottom of the second.
And with a couple of pretty dominant pitchers on the mound for their respective teams, every out is big. Every defensive play is big, and so when you can get a stellar play like that, I mean that's a huge play to keep what would have been an RBI off the board for Harrisburg.
First pitch is taken for ball one to Andy Gordon. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's a off speed that will be hit the zone, and it's now 1-1. Gordon is tied for the team high and runs driven in with 32. He and Garrett Stout are the only two with 30 plus RBIs. The 1-1 is on the outside corner, now 1-2. Does have a home run that he hit all the way back in the second game of the season. That first doubleheader against Mitchell. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Gordon was late on that. Another all-speed pitch. And there's a first strikeout for Chase Mason. And that'll bring up McGuire Rasky, the designated hitter here in game number one. We'll probably see him. Well, we've seen him play first base. But Garrett Stout, who probably will start game number two, we'll see if he would go to the first base spot or if they will have, because they won't DH for Stout whenever he is the pitcher. The first pitch is over for strike one. Obviously, don't get ahead of ourselves because we're still here only in the bottom of the second in game one. But will be interesting of where Rasky goes in game two, as that one's a swing and a miss, or a swing and a foul, and it's now 0-2. Didn't see him play for several weeks, almost probably missed a full month before he was able to get back in the lineup dealing with the arm injury. That does not require Tommy John surgery. Was able to have him swing the bat. The 0-2 pitch, there's a hard liner. And
because he reacted right away and caught up with his play by Metzger to flag that throw and or
2020 season. Here's a 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and Mason gets his second strikeout, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Chase Mason. We have played two full complete here at Hyde Stadium. Pierre and Harrisburg are scoreless. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. Top of the third inning, 9-1-2. Jack Tigan Chase Mason and Tyson Kogel to lead things off here for Harrisburg. Both teams are still searching for their first base hit. Harrisburg has had 3 base runners so far. Only 2 have been stranded on base, as we have no score to open up the top of the third. First pitch to the number 9 hitter is over for strike 1 to Jack Tigan, the left fielder.
Tigan hitting 169 on the year, just 14 hits and 83 at bats. He has scored 20 runs, partly because to go with those 14 hits, he also has 17 walks on the year.
That one's fouled back and off the press box, and it's 0-2.
Couple of quick score updates. John Renner still leading Watertown 2-1 in the top of the 6th. Brandon Valley and Mitchell are scoreless in the top of the 2nd.
2 misses low, and it's now 1-2. And then, of course, post 22 and post 320 playing at Pete Lean Field. That doesn't start until 6 o'clock Central Time. So just 3 of the 4 series going on right now. As the 1-2 pitch to Tigan is at the letters, looked at for strike 3. And make it now strikeout 5 for Jack Van Camp. And there's one down to open up the top of the third. And I'll bring up Chase Mason, who was hit by a pitch. Saw just 2 pitches, one that got close to hitting him, and the second one plucked him in the back. He was caught stealing in the top of the first. Here's the first pitch from Van Camp to Mason. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-1. Garrett Stout, the shortstop, playing right behind the second base bag to the right-hand side of second base, the second base side of that bag. Coverdale in the hole over at second. The 0-1, that one's popped up on the infield. Jack Van Camp calling for it. He will take it in front of Lincoln Keenels, the third baseman. And there are 2 down here in the top of the third. And you can't tell an outfielder who's on the mound, and I guess he's a pitcher, but he plays the outfield. You can't tell him to stay put. He's got to go pick up those pop flies as well.
Yeah, that's just where instinct takes over. And again, at this level where you got athletes playing multiple positions, that instinct just kicks in, and you just typically, even though the rule is you typically let the fielder take that play, Van Camp says, no, this one's mine from the time it left the bat.
First pitch to Kogel is outside for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, there's a swing and a miss, and it's now 1-1. Are you trying to say Major League pitchers aren't athletes?
I'm not saying that at all. It's just their days of playing the outfield probably are long past.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's upstairs now, 2-1. Well, the Cubs had a pitcher play the outfield for a batter. So Madden, his crazy tactics, put somebody in right field for a batter and brought him back into pitch again.
But, John, this is 2020. Anything goes in 2020.
That is true. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Kogel has swung and missed at both strikes, and the count is even now at 2-2.
Kogel hitting 270 on the year, 31 hits and 115 at bats. Team leader in triples with 4, and also second on the team in walks with 28. Here's
the 2-2 from Van Camp to Kogel. Just above the letters. Maybe a touch outside, and the count is 3-2, and a oohs and ahs from the home crowd here at Hyde Stadium.
Yeah, interesting thing. The top 2 hitters in the Harrisburg order are also the top 2 guys in strikeouts on the team. Mason with 53 and Kogel with 37.
As that one's fouled down the right field line, went into fair territory. So A.J. Gaden out in right field will go corral that. And the count remains at 3-2.
Yeah, it's kind of runs against conventional wisdom. But again, we are in 2020 where a lot of things just don't make sense, but it runs against conventional wisdom to have your top 2 guys in the order also be the two guys leading your team in strikeouts.
3-2 pitch. That one's fouled multiple times off the bat of Kogel. I think he hit that 3 different times at home plate, and it remains a full count to the shortstop Kogel. And these 2 teams, speaking of 2020 being just odd years, these 2 teams actually were talking about potentially playing with no fans, as the 3-2 is a swing and a miss. And there's another strikeout for Jack Van Camp. We'll continue that story. It was not about tonight, but it was about when they first played. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. We played 2.5. Pierre and Harrisburg are scoreless. You listen to Post-Day Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the third inning, 7-8-9 here for Post State. Lincoln Keynoles, A.J. Gayden, and Cade Hinkle looking to get their first base runner of the ball game. Chase Mason has retired the first 6 in a row as Keynoles will lead it off here for Post State. Go back to what we were talking about. These two teams were set to play, and there's a big chance of some rain. Ended up not raining at all, but they had talked about going to play at Augustana because they have that turf field that they could have continued to have that game. But because it was going to be at a college, they weren't going to have any fans there. So it would have been a complete silent crowd as the first pitch is over for strike one to Lincoln Keynoles. Not the piped-in crowd noise that Major League Baseball is having in their games. It would have been a silent crowd except for myself and Greg calling that ball game. One pitch. That one misses low, and it's now 1-1. Been able to work on the golf commentator.
I was gonna say we could have created our own noise up in the booth, John. That would have been interesting.
Well, we create our own noise all the time. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is a different story. Keynoles has got a count even at 1-1. Mason delivers the 1-1 pitch, and he'll foul that one. He'll chop it back to the backstop, and it's now 1-2.
Yeah, Mason's been very effective, especially spotting that off-speed pitch today. He's thrown it consistently for strikes and really has the Post State hitters off balance. Been able to mix that with his fastball really well over the first 2 innings.
1-2 pitch on the outside edge and taken for strike 3. And the third strikeout now for Mason. The first time he's got a called third strike. And then I'll bring up A.J. Gayden, the right fielder. That one looked like Keynoles maybe had been thinking about an off-speed pitch and blew the fastball by him before he could pull the trigger. Here's the first pitch to Gayden. Off-speed, over for strike 1. So this is it. Mason is dialed in here in this ball game with the 2 1/3 without allowing a base runner. 0-1 is chopped behind home plate, and it's now 0-2.
Gayden comes into the game hitting .345 on the year, 30 hits and 87 at bats. He's got 5 doubles, 16 RBIs on the year.
Here's the 0-2 from Mason to Gayden, and he'll fight that one off. And it remains at 0-2. That's a good job there by Gayden. They got fooled by the pitch and spoiled it. Right now you're kind of hoping to drive the pitch count up for Mason. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one is at the knees and looked at for strike 3. And it's now 3 in a row dating back to the bottom of the second for Chase Mason and 4 in the ball game. And that'll bring up Cade Hinkle.
Yeah, Mason's been extraordinarily efficient so far. Just 26 pitches through the first 2 2/3 innings.
Here's the first pitch to Cade Hinkle. He'll look at that one low for ball 1. Hinkle comes in. He has drawn the most walks, 30 walks so far on the season. And again, just like it was back when they played Yankton, that if you add up number 2 and number 3 in walks, it doesn't match up to how many walks he has had, as it's now 2-0 to Hinkle. Yeah, knack to get a good eye for the strike zone, but just a knack to not swing at bad pitches either. Now 2-1. I think that's going to be frustrating because he sits in the number 9 hole quite often and draws a lot of walks from that 9-hole position. 2-1 is missed low, now 3-1, and he's got a good hitter's count and potentially another number 9 hitter walk. Mason will come set from the stretch. Here's a 3-1. That will be ball 4, and Hinkle is the first base runner of the ball game for Post State. And out of the 9-hole, again, that drives coaches nuts. But if you look at the stats, I guess you're kind of thinking that just one of those things that's hard to explain. Mason had been pumping strikes. Not too many guys have swung at bad pitches yet, but he just couldn't find the strike zone against Hinkle.
Yeah, and Hinkle kind of becomes that second leadoff hitter the way he draws walks out of that 9-hole and part of that has been part of the reason that he's been successful in scoring 34 runs. It's 3rd on the team in runs scored coming out of that 9-hole.
Garrett Stout takes ball 1. Quick pickoff attempts and back in safely is Hinkle. After the first base runner is aboard here for Post State, see if they can bring him around. Stout with 7 home runs, 6 triples, 11 doubles for those extra base hits. The 1-0, that one's line foul over the top of Coach White over at third base. And it's now 1-1. That one skipped from being inside the park to outside the park, looked like. And Coach White had to quickly duck out of the way of that one. The count is even at 1-1. Left fielder and center fielder shading to the right side for Stout. Hinkle's off with a pitch. It's taken for strike two. The throw to second, and it's going to get away from the shortstop. Not far enough from the second baseman for Hinkle to take third, but he is in safely at second. The count is 1-2, and a base hit from Stout could give Post State their first lead, the first run of the ball game.
Yeah, and throw actually a couple of steps on the first base side of second, and looked like Long kind of just double clutched a little bit when he received the pitch, and because of that was a little late in delivering the ball. Just wasn't real fluid mechanically, and so Hinkle's in with a stolen base, and now with two outs, even with a 1-2 count, the leading hitter on the team for Post State at the plate got an opportunity to do something here in the bottom of the third.
Mason Pierce in for the sign. He'll come set. Here's the 1-2 to Stout. Stout will rip it into right field, down the right field line, but over is the right fielder in Rellinger to make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base after three completes. Pierre and Harrisburg are still scoreless. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the fourth inning. It is no score between Post States and Harrisburg. 3, 4, and 5. Weedy, Metzger, and Long. Might reach his base, so it'll go to Jack Rayburn. As Jack Van Camp has gotten 3 scoreless innings so far. He and Mason going toe-to-toe right now and have allowed a combined 4 base runners through the first 3 innings. And that's that's some fun baseball. It makes for some fun baseball through the first 3 full innings here, Greg.
Absolutely. Quick score update. Renner leading Watertown still 2-1 in the top of the 7th. And in the top of the 3rd, Mitchell has taken a 1-0 lead on Brandon.
So here is going to be Zeb Weedy to lead things off. He struck out looking to end it to go just yet. Van Camp was. And now we have everybody set and ready to go. Here's the first pitch from Van Camp to Weedy. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
Weedy, the team second on the team in average at 340. He's got 35 hits, 103 at bats, 15 doubles, far and away the team leader in doubles, 4 home runs, 28 RBIs, second on the team, and then 42 runs. He leads the team in runs scored.
Swing and a miss and a pitch in the dirt, and it's now 0-2 to the number 3 hitter, second baseman, Zeb Weedy. Don't see too often the second baseman on both teams being the number 3 hitter, with Coverdale and Weedy. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's chopped over to first base for Gordon. He'll flip it to Van Camp, who will win the race to the bag at first. And the leadoff man is retired. And a good play all around from both Andy Gordon and Jack Van Camp to retire the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, just a high chopper that pulled Gordon probably about 5-6 steps to his right, and he just did not have a play. And luckily, Van Camp was alert enough to come off the mound with the hit and was just able to beat Weedy to the bag by about half a step. And so a good play again. Post State so far doing the little things defensively, and right now that's why the score is still knotted at 0 here in the top of the 4th.
First pitch misses upstairs to Peyton Metzger. He walked, stole second, and was left stranded at second base in the top of the 2nd inning. Here's the 1-0. Comes inside, but is catching the black, and it's now 1-1. Stout playing just to the left of second base on that shortstop side. Coverdale playing in the hole over at second base. Here's the 1-1. That one is over, now 1-2.
Really good crowd today for here in attendance at Historic Hyde Stadium. Most of the chairback seats on the first base side are filled. Good representation from Harrisburg and a good crowd underneath the canopy.
Count is now 2-2 to Metzger. These two teams will play at noon tomorrow if needed in a game 3. So you'd most likely Harrisburg will be spending the night here in the capital city. 2-2 is upstairs, now 3-2. And that's the unknown that kind of goes in the favor of Post State. Because whether or not they play a Tuesday, they're going to go home and sleep in their own bed and don't have to worry about packing and potentially packing for nothing. 3-2 pitch on the knees and over for strike 3. And another strikeout for Jack Van Camp. Make that number 7 for Van Camp. And there's now 2 down. I'll bring up Timon Long, the catcher, who struck out swinging his first time to the plate. And now they're going to shift over to the right-handed side. Don't see too many right-handed hitting shifts. But Coverdale is behind the second base bag. First pitch is over for strike 1. Keno's playing the line. Stout more towards the hole at short. And a large gap over on the right side for Timon Long. The 0-1 pitch for Van Camp to Long. That one's upstairs, and it's 1-1.
Outfield pretty much straight away. Iverson pretty much straight away in left field, even though you've got that big infield shift.
1-1 pitch. That one is on the outside corner. It's now 1-2 to the chagrin of Long, who turned his head a little bit after taking strike 2. And Van Camp, another strike away from a scoreless 4th inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Van Camp to Long. Just a bit outside. And it's now 2-2. And both Coverdale, Stout, I think 7 of the 8 guys that are out in the field right now are heading to the dugout. Here's the 2-2 from Van Camp to the catcher, Timon Long. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. Be fielded by Coverdale at second. The throw to first. And it's a 1-2-3 inning again for Jack Van Camp. After 3.5, we have no score between Post State and Harrisburg. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2, 3, and 4. Iverson and Coverdale and Gordon. If anybody reaches base, it'll be McGuire Rasky. No score between these two teams. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean, and we have yet to see a base hit out of any team. We've had just 4 base runners so far, and they've been a hit by pitch and 3 walks combined between those 2 pitchers. So these 2 guys are on their game, and the season. This is a all-important game number 1. You talk about game number 1 and, the NHL having their best-of-5 series right now. They say game number 1 is the most important out of those games. Game number 1 in a best-of-3 is, if you win this one, I mean, the entire complexion of how the rest of the series looks is in your favor.
Yeah, and we talked about how Mason definitely known as a strikeout pitcher. Like we said, 76 strikeouts coming into the game in 45 and 2/3 innings. But Jack Van Camp is no slouch on his own. Like you said, John, he's got 7 strikeouts today already through 4 innings. And that gives him on the year 67 strikeouts through 45 and a third inning. So Van Camp is maybe not quite a strikeout and a half an inning like Mason is, but he certainly has all the options out there.
First pitch, and River Iverson will go into center field with it and get the first hit of the ball game for either side. And the leadoff man is aboard for the first time in the ball game for Post State. And that'll bring up Andrew Coverdale. And with 2, 3, and 4 up here in this bottom of the fourth inning, this is a good time to get things rolling here for Post State.
Yeah, and Coach White calls Andrew Coverdale down to have a quick chat with him out of the third base coach's box, and with the leadoff hitter on, you got to figure that Coach White's got some kind of small ball going on here, either a bunt, hit and run, maybe a steal, try to get him in the scoring situation.
Shows bunt, pulls it back, and taking for ball one. He was pulling it back as the pitch was coming in, not as the pitch was going across. It missed low and away. 1-0. Coverdale flew out to the center fielder in his first at bat. He'll show bunt again. Pulls it back. Pitch inside. Now 2-0.
Yeah, and the third baseman is not coming hard with the bunt. Metzger is right on the grass, but he's not coming hard with the bunt. So he's respecting the fact that Coverdale is pulling that bat back.
He's done it 3 times, and all 3 have not been anywhere close to the zone, and the count is 3-0. To Coverdale, and the 3-0 count, might as well show it one more time and pull it back and see if Mason can throw it across the strike zone. He'll come set. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Coverdale will pull back the bunt, and it's a 4-pitch walk. And it's now first and second with nobody out. And here's Andy Gordon. Team tie with a team high in RBIs with 32. The base hit could give Post State their first lead, first round of the ball game for either side.
And a likely bunting situation here from a guy you haven't had to bunt too often this year.
He shows bunt, and they're going to try and pick off Iverson. He'll be able to dive back in safely. The shortstop in Kogel went in front of Iverson. They kind of figure it to try and block him from seeing that. And I think now Coach White is going to talk to the field umpire about him running in front of Iverson. But the throw to second, Iverson wasn't anywhere close to being picked off, but Coach White is definitely making his case.
He's arguing that there was an interference there, an obstruction call, and that Iverson should be awarded third base, and there really wasn't any. While there was an obstruction, there really wasn't an opportunity that really hindered Iverson from going back to second base. So I think I suspect that Coach White's going to plead his case, but I don't know that he's going to have much of a favorable ear or much of a kind ear coming from any of the umpires.
So with Coach White talking with the umpires, not as socially distanced as the major league managers have to be to the umpires, but his case will not be won and still stay first and second here with nobody out and no count to Andy Gordon.
And I think that's a situation where if Iverson had been impeded going back to the bag, or if he had been picked off, I think then White maybe has a case. But where he got back safely, and really the pickoff attempt happened after the obstruction.
So if Iverson can lean into that shortstop, as that one's taken low for ball one, if Iverson can lean into it, that could draw the obstruction and get Iverson over to third base. He did kind of lean back when that shortstop and Kogel went in front of him, but he wasn't able to make any contact. Gordon will show bunt, and he'll pop that up to the third baseman, dives and makes the catch. Iverson's picked off at second, and it's a double play. And there's 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth inning. That's a big blow to the offense that had first and second with nobody out. Now there's just a runner on first with 2 down.
Yeah, and that's a great play from Peyton Metzger. He came in hard and actually dove and picked that ball up just before it hit the ground, and Iverson thought that the ball that Metzger had actually short hopped the ball, and he was hung up halfway between second and third, and easy play for Metzger to retire him on the double play at second base.
First pitch to Rasky is fouled back to the screen, and it's 0-1. So we'll see if Coverdale will get a green light to steal with the speed that Mason has, or the velocity that Mason has, makes things a little bit more difficult. But a ball in a gap with the speed of Coverdale could drive him in still with 2 down, as he'll be off with contact. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's on the outside edge. Is now 0-2. Rasky hit that hard line drive the third baseman Metzger, who had stuck his glove out to make the catch to retire him in his first at bat back in the bottom of the second. Here's the 0-2 from Mason to Rasky instead of check over at first, and back in safely is Coverdale. And the left fielder in Tigan, they moved him over a little bit to the left, or to the left field foul pole, as that one's fouled back, and it remains at 0-2. But they didn't move him a whole lot, and Rasky likes to use all portions of the field, something that since he's returned to the lineup, has really used that left field well, just like how Gray Zabel used the left field so well here this season. Here's the 0-2. That one's fouled away on the left side, and we'll do it again. And that car, I think, might have slowed down a little bit so it didn't get hit as it went over in the Capitol. So here's, again, another 0-2 pitch coming from Mason to Rasky. Coverdale is on at first with 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth in the scoreless ball game. Mason will come set. The 0-2. That one, again, is fouled off the left side. And it will do it one more time at 0-2.
Yeah, just a side note, not the first time that McGuire Rasky and Chase Mason have faced each other. Actually, these rising seniors, Rasky, Mason, the rising seniors on both sides, actually played against each other for the U12 state title back in, what would that be, 2015, I believe it was. And at that time, Mason was playing for team out of Hurley, won the state championship, and so hopefully today Post State gets a chance to maybe take a little strike of revenge against him.
Rasky swings and misses and strikes out, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 4 complete, there is no score between Pierre and Harrisburg. You listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Top of the 5th inning, as it is going to be 6, 7, and 8. Jack Rayburn will lead things off. First pitch to him is above the letters for ball 1. Rayburn, Lucas, and Rollinger, and then be Tigan, the number 9 hitter, if anybody reaches base. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a fly ball out to right field. Going back is Gaten to the wall, and he's going to turn and watch this one sail for a leadoff home run by Jack Rayburn. And there's the break of the scoreless tie. 40th home run of the season for Harrisburg. And for Jack Rayburn, that is home run number 5 and RBI number 27. And Harrisburg has broken the ice here in the top of the 5th.
And the scary thing about this Harrisburg team is that they only have 3 seniors on the team, Rayburn being one of them. Metzger, and I can't remember who the other one is. So the thing that is a little spooky is that the team that you see here on the field for Harrisburg today is probably going to be well represented when they come back to Pierre at some point next year.
An opposite field home run for Jack Rayburn. First pitch to Chase Lucas is over for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 from Van Camp to Lucas. That one will bounce to the dirt, and it's now 1-1. So it's a 1-0 lead here for Harrisburg. And this is a big next couple batters here for Jack Van Camp. Here in the top of the fifth. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, 2-1.
Yeah, and what Jack Van Camp needs to do right here is just relax and try to forget about that home run. It's just one run. You're going to have to score at least one if you're going to win a ball game. So he just needs to dial back into the rhythm that he had through the first 4 innings of this game.
He will hit Lucas, and there's a runner on first here with nobody out, and it'll bring up Ethan Rollinger. Rollinger flew out to the left fielder. Iverson made that great diving catch to preserve the scoreless tie in the top of the second inning. That was the first hit by Harrisburg here in this game 1 as well. He'll try and bunt, pulls it back, and it's slow for ball 1.
Post 8 on the bunt rotations got Keenholz charging from third, Gordon staying home at first. Coverdale is manning second base on the rotation if they stay that way.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one is over for strike 1 at the letters. And the count is even at a ball and a strike. This is a big inning here for Harrisburg and for Post 8 after that leadoff home run. Here's 1-1. That one's fouled off the end of the bats as Rollinger was well out in front of it. And the count is now 1-2.
Really would be nice to see Rollinger hit one just right at one of your middle infielders and hit into some kind of a double play and really take the pressure off of Jack Van Camp in this situation.
1-2 pitch. There's a ground ball off the glove of Keenholz as he was diving for it around the side. And Iverson can't feel it over at left field, and it's going to drive in another run. All the way to third base is going to be Rollinger, and Harrisburg has opened up a 2-0 lead here in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, and that ball was just scorched right down the third base line, and Keenholz made a great play to try to come up with it, but it got past him, and then Iverson had to go a long way. That ball was actually in foul ground by the time he got up with it, and he was not able to get the ball actually rolled all the way to the wall and allowed the Harrisburg base runners to move up another 90 feet and allowed another run to score.
Here's Jack Tigan. He swings and misses the first pitch. He struck out looking in his first at-bat in the top of the third. The infield is drawn in. You know how important that next run is for Harrisburg to open up a 3-0 lead. Nobody out here at the top of the 5th. Trying bunting the ball. A safety squeeze was on. He fouls it away. And the count is now 0-2. First 3 men have reached base. A home run, a hit by pitch, and a single. Called a single in an air by Rollinger. And they have opened up a 2-0 lead and threatening for that third run here in the top of the 5th with nobody out. Here's the 0-2 to Tigan. And a good block by Hinkle in the dirt. And it's now 1-2. So much confidence a pitcher has to spike one like that in a curveball from Jack Van Camp, knowing that ball's not going to get away because of how Hinkle is so good at blocking pitches. Here's the 1-2 from Van Camp. Upstairs, 2-2.
Yeah, and that's we've talked about the beauty and really what a good defensive catcher will do for you. And you just hit on a key point there, John, that having somebody like Hinkle who blocks balls as well as he does really allows your pitchers to throw any pitch at any time in the count because you're really confident that ball is not going to get to the backstop, especially with a runner on third, like in a situation like this.
The 2-2 misses outside, and it's now 3-2. To the number 9 hitter and Jack Tigan from the windup. Here is the payoff pitch from Van Camp. Swing and a miss. There's a big first out. A strikeout from Van Camp to Tigan. And that'll bring up Chase Mason now. And again, the infield has to stay in with one down. And Stout will play in the infield on the second base side of that bag. Van Camp will deliver the first pitch from the windup to Mason. And that will hit Mason on the elbow guard. And it's now 1st and 3rd here with one down. Second time he's been hit by a pitch.
And what it does now is with a runner on first, now you force your middle infielders to retreat back to normal position, and partly because you really have to control the running game, but also you set yourself up in the middle infield for a potential double play, hopefully off the bat of Tyson Kogel.
Renner defeats Watertown in game 1, 2-1, the 6 seed over the 3 seed in that first game. Mitchell leads Brandon Valley 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Runner is off. They will fake the throw and into second base, and now the infield will draw back in because Mason is now at second, and the double play is not in order anymore. As I believe it was strike 1 call to Tyson Kogel, who is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Here's the 0-1 from Van Camp to Kogel. That is right down the middle. And it's now 0-2. There's another big strikeout looming here for Van Camp with Zeb Weedy on deck. Here's the 0-2 from Van Camp. That one will hit the bat, and it's going to be a fair ball. And they got to throw it to first. The throw to first is in time. My goodness, it went behind the batter in Kogel, and it went into fair territory. Hinkle picked it up and was able to throw the ball to first base to get Kogel out, so there's now 2 down. I've never seen that before.
I was just going to say, every time you go to the ballpark, you see something you've never seen before, and that literally was a play where the pitch actually came in behind Kogel, kind of right at his head and maybe a little bit behind him. As he ducked, he didn't bring the bat down, and the ball actually hit the bat and rebounded into fair territory. And Kate Hinkle comes from behind home plate and actually was a little confused, wasn't quite sure what to do initially, and luckily gathered his wits and was able to throw down to first base and retire Kogel.
A 1 pitch is on the inside corner to Weedy, and is now 0-2. Post State will absolutely take that break. And now a strike away from limiting the damage here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the 0-2 from Van Camp to Weedy. That one just misses low, maybe a little bit inside, and it's now 1-2.
Hinkle did his best to try to frame that pitch and try to bring it up and try to get strike 3, and umpire just wasn't quite having it.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a fly ball out to right field. A.J. Gayden will retreat. He will make the catch, and Post State will avoid a big inning. But 2 runs do score on 2 hits in the inning. A solo shot from Rayburn has given Harrisburg the first lead of the ball game. No errors and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Harrisburg has broken the scoreless tie. They lead Pierre 2-0. Listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Six, 7, and 8 to do up for Post State here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Down 2-0. Chase Mason working for the first time with a lead. As he got the help from Jack Rayburn and then Ethan Rollinger, who drove in the 2 runs. Rayburn with the solo shot, and Rollinger got the base hit, and coming around to score was Lucas to make it a 2-0 ball game. Only 3 hits so far between the 2 teams. 2 for Harrisburg that came at the top of the 5th, and 1 for Post State that came to lead off the bottom of the 4th. But Matt Lusk, Lincoln Keenholz, and A.J. Gayden will try and change that 1 on the scoreboard and try and put up a crooked number just like Harrisburg did to try and tie it up here early in this bottom of the 5th inning as we start to get later in this game 1. First pitch is missed, blown outside to Matt Lusk, who struck out swinging. These 3 hitters in 7, 8, 9 all went down on strikes. As Lusk struck out swinging, Keenels and Gaden struck out looking. The 1-0 on the outside edge, now 1-1.
Mason had just a little bit of a tougher time spotting that curveball in the 4th inning, and that led to a much tougher inning for him.
High chopper over to third base, and the throw is not in time, and Matt Lusk will get an infield single, and that will draw the Harrisburg coach out of the dugout to try and talk with the first base umpire, as that one looked like it was going to go straight over the head of Metzger, but he was able to make a dandy of a leaping grab, and the throw just didn't get Lusk in time, and it's a leadoff single. And a quick little conversation. Again, the social distance compared to what it is in Major League Baseball is nowhere implied here.
Yeah.
And the leadoff man is aboard.
Yeah, and that conversation went, he was safe, turn around and go back to the dugout.
There's no way we're appealing this one. First pitch to Lincoln Keenels is over for strike 1. Keenels struck out looking in his first at-bat. Leadoff man is aboard for the 2nd straight inning here for Post State. Iverson lit off with a single, and he was retired on a double play. Back in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That was a curveball that catches the top of the zone. And it's now 0-2. And Keenels will have to battle. Down 2 strikes in the count.
Yeah, and going back to the conference between the Harrisburg coach and the umpire, that is literally how long the conference lasted. It was literally a 3-second conversation, and the coach, nodded his head, turned around, and walked back to the dugout.
It took longer to get out from the foul line over to the first base than it did to have that conversation with the first base umpire. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's a swing and a miss. Keenels is going to be out, but Lusk will be at second base. So there's now 1 down, as Lusk will take second. And Keenels is down on strikes for the second time in just 2 at-bats.
Yeah, and when it first hit the glove of Long, the catcher, you heard that pop. I almost thought maybe it was catcher's interference to begin with, but no, it was a strikeout for out number 1, but it did get away from Long, and with that, Lusk goes on down to second base on the pass ball, and we're I think going to have a little activity down in the Post-State bullpen. I think I see Aaron Booth down, maybe starting to warm up a little bit.
There's a ground ball to shortstop field by Kogel. The throw to first is in time, and there's now 2 down. Lusk will move up 90 feet to third, and that'll bring up Cade Hinkle. A chance, a big opportunity. This is a big spot here for Cade Hinkle. A base hit draws you within 1, and you don't want to leave that runner stranded over at third base. Here as we get later in this ball game. First pitch from Mason to Hinkle. That one will miss. Matt Lusk will try and come in to score. The throw to the plate. Head first slide, and Matt Lusk scores. And it's a 2-1 ball game. That's a big run. A mistake from the catcher in Long. Almost a pass ball would most likely be scored. And it's now 2-1 lead here for Harrisburg. And that's a little sigh of relief from Post State here in the bottom of the 5th, getting that run in to score from third base. That one's fouled back, and it's now 1-1.
Yeah, and if you're having to play from behind, it's a whole different deal to try to manufacture 1 run than if you have to try to manufacture 2. And so that's a big run right there for Post State here in the bottom of the 5th.
1-1 is upstairs, now 2-1. Top of the order is on deck or due up in the 6th inning, whichever comes first. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Mason to Hinkle. That one's outside off the catcher's glove and Long again, and it's now 3-1.
That's the 3rd ball that's gotten past Long here in the last 2 batters. You kind of maybe wonder if maybe his put's just a little bit out of whack or something, but just totally out of character for him.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one will catch the knees over Hinkle, and it's now 3-2. Hinkle's about ready to take off for his second walk of the ball game, and still have to dig back in with a 3-2 count. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss, and Mason will get the strikeout of Hinkle, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 run scores on 1 hit in the inning, no errors, and no one left on base. We have played 5 full innings. Harrisburg leads Pierre 2-1. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR, and today's KCCR.com. Here in the top of the sixth inning, Peyton Metzger, Timon Long, and Jack Rayburn to lead things off as Jack Van Camp is on the mound for the top of the sixth inning and looking for a big zero. Top of the lineup is due up for Post State in the bottom of the sixth, and would love to keep that a one-run differential going into this bottom of the sixth inning. John Michael alongside Greg Dean here on this beautiful Monday evening at Hyde Stadium. Can't ask for better baseball weather here at the beginning of August. Can't ask for better baseball weather in 2020, no matter what, when you're playing baseball.
No, I think the way this season has gone, we'd take 45 degrees and a wind blowing in from the southeast at about 20 miles an hour if that was the case, if we had to get a game in today.
First pitch is over for strike one to Peyton Metzger. Here's the 0-1 from Van Camp to Metzger. That one is chopped to the right side, fielded by Coverdale on the run. Quick throw to first in time, and he is out. Gordon was in the transfer to throw it around the horn. That's why he ended up dropping it, but still recorded as out number one here in the top of the sixth. Don't see that very often where the first baseman ends up dropping it on the transfer to throw it around the horn, usually only when it's trying to turn a double play. But here's Timon Long, who is 0 for 2 so far. He struck out and also grounded out to Coverdale over at second. The first pitch is over for strike one.
So far for Jack Van Camp, 86 pitches, 50 for strikes, 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts on the day for Jack Van Camp.
0-1 is a swing and a miss, and it's now 0-2 to the catcher Long. On deck is the man who hit the home run to get Harrisburg their first lead in Jack Rayburn. Here's the 0-2 from Van Camp to Long. Upside, and it's now 1-2. So you're looking at Van Camp. If he can work quickly in this inning, could have a chance to go all 7 innings, but limit who you bring in the bullpen, out of the bullpen. The 1-2 pitch outside, now 2-2. And that could save you a couple arms here going into game 2 and potentially game 3, depending on the scenario that you're in. Here's the 2-2 from Van Camp to Long. That one's upstairs from 0-2 now to 3-2. And don't want to lose Long and put a base runner on for Rayburn, who led off the top of the 5th with a home run. All these guys can hit the long ball. 40 home runs on the season now for Harrisburg. 3-2 pitch outside. And after an 0-2 count, 4 straight misses. And Long is on base for the first time. And that'll bring up Jack Rayburn.
Rayburn 301 on the year, 31 hits in 103 at bats, 4 home runs, 26 RBIs. If the Rayburn name is familiar, he would be the nephew of Scott Rayburn and a cousin of Zach and his older brother, who were standout athletes here at Pierre Riggs High. So that the Rayburn name continues to permeate through South Dakota athletics.
First pitch to Rayburn is over at the letters for strike one. Here's the 0-1 from Van Camp to Rayburn. That one's fouled back to the netting, and it's 0-2. And I think the confidence is starting to kind of glow a little bit from Rayburn. He's swinging that stick with a lot of confidence right now. He's looking to go for a second home run on that swing. Count is 0-2, though, with 1 down here in the top of the 6th. Van Camp from the stretch. He'll get the sign from Hinkle, and he'll come set and deliver the 1-2 pitch. Right down the middle for strike 3, and Rayburn is down for the second time on strikes, and that's a big second strikeout of the inning, or second out of the inning. And they'll bring up Chase Lucas, who has been on base with a walk and a hit by pitch in his 2 plate appearances so far. And with 2 down, this is a big out to try and keep Van Camp going in the 7th. Runner is off. First pitch is over for strike 1. The throw to second is in time, and they've got him out at second. And that will retire here in the top of the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We played 5.5. It is a 2-1 Harrisburg lead over Pierre. You listen to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Here in the bottom of the sixth inning, it is the top of the order. Garrett Stout, River Iverson, and Andrew Coverdale. If anybody reaches base, it'll be Andy Gordon. Double barrel action in the right field bullpen, and Aaron Booth and Matt Lusk. And Greg, you and I were just talking about it. It looks like you would think that Aaron Booth would be the guy if it's still a 2-1 game, and if it's 2-2 or any other score, it'll be Matt Lusk that will come in the top of the seventh. If Jack Van Camp could come out in the top of the seventh with a few pitches still left, and if he has a quick inning, could go all seven, but you got to have somebody warmed up and ready to go if he can't finish out because the pitch count's been exceeded.
Yeah, he's at 97 pitches through 6 complete, 58 for strikes. So realistically, he comes out and potentially starts the seventh inning. It'd have to be an awful quick inning for him to throw that 7-inning complete game, and so that's why you probably got a couple arms out there in the pen to be warmed and ready.
First pitch misses upstairs to Garrett Stout. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out to the pitcher and to open up the bottom of the first, and also flew out to the right fielder to end the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 is catching the zone now, 1-1. Harrisburg will be the home team in game 2. With no matter what happens in game 1, if Pierre wins, it'll be Harrisburg home for game 2, and if Harrisburg wins, they're still home as that one's grounded foul to the first base dugout, and it's now 1-2. And if Post State and Harrisburg have to play a third game, and then it will be Pierre the home team in game number 3. Mason giving up just 1 run so far on 2 hits through 5 innings. 1-2 is outside and is now 2-2. This is your best chance with the top of the order up here in the bottom of the 6th. Could be your last best chance to try and tie the ball game up or take the lead. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Stout goes down on strikes. They're going to have to throw it to first, and they will retire Stout to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning.
Pair of state championship quarterbacks going at each other on that last at bat. Stout, a multiple-time winner for Pierre, and Chase Mason for Irene Wakanda last year, playing in the 9-man championship.
Here's River Iverson, who is 1 for 2. First pitch, Iverson will lace it in the right field. That one is going to be hanging up to Rollinger. And there's 2 quickly down here in the bottom of the 6th. And they'll bring up Andrew Coverdale now, who is 0 for 1. He flew out to the center fielder and also walked in his 2 plate appearances.
Yeah, and Eights have hit a couple of line drives to right field, and Rollinger's done a nice job tracking down both of them. Otherwise, those are extra base hits and really put the Eights in a good situation. But for as good as the Eights have been defensively today, Harrisburg has matched them.
First pitch is over for strike 1 to Coverdale. Here's the 1 pitch. Coverdale will ground it to the left side in the hole. Feel it by the shortstop. Long throw, not going to be in time. Nowhere close to getting Coverdale. And it's a 2-out single for the second baseman, and that'll keep things alive for Andy Gordon. He's 0 for 2. Strikeout he tried to bunt the ball the last time and popped it up in the air. It was a diving catch by the third baseman, Metzger. Started that double play. And we'll see. Now, this is a tough situation because if you get Coverdale into score position, a base hit will easily score him. But you take the risk of getting thrown out. First pitch to Gordon is fouled away, and it's 0-1. But with how well Gordon hits, you'd love to see him have an opportunity with Coverdale in scoring position to try and tie the ball game up with a base hit.
And my guess is Coach White probably plays it safe here. You just can't afford to give away outs here at this stage of the game. You only got 4 left right now, and you got to generate at least 1 run to push this game beyond the 7th.
As that is going to be missed for ball 1, and the count is at 1-1. A stray ball from the bullpen will go down towards home plate.
Aaron Booth is back in the dugout. Matt Lusk getting warmed down in the right field bullpen for Post State. So looks like Matt Lusk is probably the option if Jack Van Camp comes back.
Throw will get away from the first baseman, and Coverdale is going to get to second. He's going to round second and head for third, and he's going to be 90 feet away from tying this ball game up on the air from Chase Mason. And now here's a chance. You don't even have to worry about trying to steal second base. Mason will allow Coverdale to take third and base hit from Gordon. No matter what, base hit will tie this ball game up here with 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. Count is 1-1. to Andy Gordon.
Yeah, and all the strategy that we were just talking about could just go away, and it just did.
Ball to the right side is through for a base hit, and we are tied at 2. Pierre will come back to haunt Harrisburg in the bottom of the 6th, and Gordon's fired up over at first base. 2-2 ball game here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning, and here is McGuire Rasky trying to keep things moving here in this bottom of the 6th inning.
Rasky certainly has the potential to turn around to Chase Mason fastball and put one in the gap someplace, and if so, it would be an opportunity for the Eights to at least get runners in scoring position, if not take the lead.
First pitch is over for strike 1 to Rasky. He's 0 for 2. Sharp line drive to the third baseman Metzger, and also struck out swinging. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one will be in the dirt, and a good stop there by Long, and it's now a 1-1 count. This is a big 6th inning here for Post State. Able to draw within 1. That pass ball and a wild pitch are 2 big reasons why the Eights have this game tied at 2-2. 1-1. That one's chopped over the mound at second, fielded by the second baseman, flips to second, and he's going to be out over at second base. And that was a tough, dangerous play from the second baseman, Weedy, and Kogel's coming up limping a little bit, and I think Gordon's limping a little bit too. They had a little bit of a collision, but Andy Gordon does tie the ball game up at 2 on an RBI single, 1 run, 2 hits, no error, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We head to the top of the 7th. We have a brand new ball game tied 2-2 between Pierre and Harrisburg. You listen to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the 7th inning. Matt Lusk is on the mound for Post State, trying to keep it a tie ball game and to send us into the 7th inning with a chance to win it. He'll deal with 7, 8, 9, Chase Lucas, Ethan Rollinger, and Jack Tigan. If anybody reaches base, and we go back to the top of the order for Chase Mason. Matt Lusk, this is not a save situation as we are tied up at 2 apiece, but he's got 4 saves. He's 2-0 on the season. His 13th appearance of the year, 2.74 ERA, 1.44 whip. And he will deal with 7, 8, 9. Chase Lucas was left on the at the plate after Time and Long was thrown out trying to steal second to end the top of the 6th inning. So Chase Lucas, who has been on base with a walk and hit by pitch. First pitch to him. There's a ground ball to Stout. Nice hop to Stout. Throw to first is in time. The leadoff man is retired. Here to open up the top of the 7th. Jack Van Camp is out in center field. Matt Lusk is on the mound, and that means Van Camp will move into the spot for McGuire Rasky. And the DH is gone for the rest of the ball game. And for Post State, you hope that's just another half inning where they can win it on a walk-off in the bottom of the 7th. Ethan Rollinger, he's 1 for 2. And that base hit that allowed that second run to score. Ended up being a single and an error from Iverson out left field to allow that runner to score in Lucas. The first pitch is over for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 from Matt Lusk to Rollinger. Long pause as Hinkle didn't get the sign in time from Coach White before Rollinger stepped out.
Couple of quick score updates, John. Top of the 6th inning, Mitchell continues to lead Brandon 1-0, and out in Rapid City, Post 22 is up on Rapid City Post 3-1 in the top of the 2nd.
So you're looking at until Post State had tied the ball game up, that the 3 lower seeds were winning. One had already won the first game. There's a swing and a miss, and it's now 1-2. Mitchell, the lower seed of Brandon Valley, they're leading in the top of the 6th, and Post 22 is the only one with the lead out of the top 4 seeds that won last week. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one will miss low in the dirt, and it's now 2-2. Jack Tigan, the number 9 hitter, is on deck. For Post State in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be 6, 7, and 8. Lusk, Keenels, and Gaydon. With or without a tie ball game or trailing. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Popped up and foul out of play on the right side, and we'll do it again at 2-2.
And if Post State goes on to win this game, that is a huge momentum boost for them to come out and beat arguably Harrisburg's number 1 pitcher, as well as probably one of the best pitchers in South Dakota.
The 2-2 is at the knees, and it's looked at for strike 3. And there's now 2 down here in the top of the 7th, and they'll bring up Jack Tigan, the left fielder, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. When you probably thought about it, you probably said, if you had to make a guess that Chase Mason would win a game, Garrett Stout would win a game, and then it comes down to game number 3 as the first pitch is over for strike 1 to Jack Tigan. And now, if Post State can steal that win against Chase Mason and you kind of hold up to everything else, maybe Post State finds a way to sweep here. But still going to win this first game before you think about a sweep. The 0-1 pitch, there's a line shot that's foul on the right side, and it's now 0-2. Goes into fair territory, and they're going to keep the ball in play to throw it back to Matt Lusk. He doesn't want that back anyway. And we'll get a new baseball over to Matt Lusk, and the count is 0-2 and a strike away to retire on the side here in order in the top of the 7th.
Just 2 hits for Harrisburg so far. The home run for Rayburn and a double for Rollinger.
0-2 is just outside, and Keenels and Stout, Coverdale, everybody in the infield is ready to go back to the dugout, and we'll have to do at least one more pitch. Here's the 1-2 from Lusk to Tigan. Checks his swing. They're not going to check him. Now they are going to check him. He did not go, and it's now 2-2.
I had him rung up here, John.
I think a lot of other umpires here at Hyatt Stadium had him rung up just like Greg Dean did. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. And down on strikes for the 3rd time goes Tigan. No runs, no hits, no one left on base. 6.5. We have a 2-2 ball game. Post State can win it in the 7th. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the 7th inning, it is 6, 7, and 8 for Post State. As they have Matt Lusk, Lincoln Keenels, A.J. Gain. The last time these 3 hitters led off an inning, Matt Lusk came around to score the game's first, or the Post State first run. He'd love to be that winning run now here in the bottom of the 7th. They have action in the bullpen out in left field for Harrisburg. And Greg, I think you caught that number and who it is.
Yeah, I think that's Jack Sutton, and my guess is he is probably a defensive replacement. When Mason threw down in Harrisburg against Post State, Sutton was over at first base, so I would suspect that maybe Mason goes out into right field, which is his usual position, and then they bring in a reliever that's already a position player, and Sutton goes in to play first base. Just a guess right now, but that would be where I think they would be at.
0-1 pitch to Matt Lusk is over for strike two and is quickly 0-2. I will say Sutton is 3 for 3 in save opportunities with a 0.97 ERA, so maybe they have him come in the seventh, or potentially if they take the lead in the eighth, if they go to extra innings, for him to try and close out the ball game. The 0-2 is nowhere close for Matt Lusk to swing it, and he goes down on strikes for the second time. He's now 1 for 3. And over we got Lincoln Keenholz, who is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He struck out looking in the third, struck out swinging in the fifth. You can, I guess, say that he was able to advance Lusk to second base. The swing and a miss on the third strike got away from the catcher, allowing Lusk to take second. First pitch is over for strike one. Mason's not messing around here in the seventh inning. 4 pitches so far, 4 strikes. Here's the 0-1 to Keenholz. That one will come in and hit Keenholz, and so now the winning run is on base. Here in the bottom of the seventh with A.J. Gayden and Cade Hinkle up to the plate. Now, with 1 out, if there's nobody out and Keenholz comes to the plate, you say that's a no-brainer. We're going to bunt to get him to second. Now, with 1 down, you can bunt him over to second base to get him in score position, and 1 hit will win it, but you only have that 1 opportunity, and you can't have a productive out to move Keenholz around at all.
Yeah, and this is probably not a bunting situation. It's probably more likely a hit and run situation for A.J. Gayden based upon how Coach Brian White likes to play the game. So we'll see how this thing plays out in the span of the next inning or next at bat or so. Coach White wants to have a quick conversation with Lincoln Keenholz just to make sure he's okay.
I got him up in the left arm, and he seems to be okay. He had a quick jog over to the third base side, and he will make his way back over to the first base bag. And so here, A.J. Gayden will step back out from the batter's box. Coach White will pick up a bullpen ball. That's not part of the signs, and he'll go through the signs again. Here with 1 down at the bottom of the seventh. Boy, if you throw that in there and say, if I pick up a bullpen ball, this is what we're going to do. First pitch to Gayden. There's a ground ball to the left side. Fielded by the shortstop, bobbles. The throw to second is not in time. And it's first and second here with 1 down here in the bottom of the seventh inning.
And again, we talked about in the pregame, John, the team that does the little things and makes the fewest mistakes is the team that's probably going to win this game. And right now, here in the bottom of the seventh inning, it's Harrisburg that is kind of shooting themselves in the foot. The hit batter, the error on what is actually a routine ground ball to Kogel at shortstop, and the eighth got something going here with runners first and second and 1 out here in the bottom of the seventh. Winning run is at second base.
So here is Cade Hinkle, the number 9 hitter. He steps off. I think Hinkle's calling time. Everybody's calling time, I think. And we'll everybody get reset. Hinkle will tie his shoe. Not getting reset just yet.
And this now potentially does become a bunt situation with your number 9 hitter at the plate. What you may be trying to do is get Garrett Stout to the plate, advance the runners, and get Stout an opportunity to drive in the winning run, or have Keenholz score on some kind of a pass ball wild pitch.
First pitch, Hinkle not bunting. He will swing and miss, and it's 0-1. He is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging. He also walked. He stole second and was left stranded at second in the bottom of the third inning. Runners at first and second here with 1 down the bottom of the seventh inning. That one is fouled back and is now 0-2. Garrett Stout is on deck. The only thing I would say, and of course you can't have happen, is ground into a double play. That's the only thing, or have a double play of any kind. At least get your top hitter, your number 1 hitter in the order, top hitter, leading the team in RBI, or second in the team in RBIs, a chance to come to the plate and win it in the bottom of the seventh inning.
And these two teams are very evenly matched. Harrisburg comes in 28-16, Pierre Post State 29-16. So on paper, you would just have expected this kind of ball game here in game number 1 of the Super Regional Series.
There's the 0-2 pitch. That one will get away, and that one will get to the backstop. Keenholz is at third. Gaden's at second. And I think they had miscommunication on what the signal was, and that's the last thing you want to have happen. I guess maybe the second to last thing you want to have happen, because the last thing now is to happen one more time.
Well, now you set up a situation where if you're Harrisburg, do you intentionally put Hinkle on first base and set a force situation up all the way around, and it looks like they're gonna pitch to Hinkle. That's a little bit of a surprise to me.
With a 2-2 count, and maybe looking for one pitch to strike him out. 2-2. Outside now 3-2. And now maybe you say just go ahead and put him over to first base, but they're not going to do it. They're going to throw at least one more here to Hinkle. Winning run is at third.
Infield is in, outfield is in. Everything's got to come home.
3-2. Will miss low for ball 4. And that is now it is 3-2. So we have now a full count. Here's the payoff pitch from Mason Hinkle. Swings and fouls it off the mitts of Long, and we'll do it again with another payoff pitch.
Yeah, and with the infield in, you just want to hit something hard someplace. If you're hitting it on the ground, if you hit it in the air, you got to get it deep enough to make sure you get Keenholz scoring from third.
3-2, and Hinkle will foul it away. He was fooled on the pitch, but kept his hands back to foul it off. And we'll do it again at 3-2.
Yeah, fouled off an off-speed pitch, and luckily Hinkle's still alive at 3-2 and 1 out.
Mason will come set from the stretch. Here's the 3-2. That's upstairs, and it's a one-out walk, and the bases are now loaded for Garrett Stout.
Pretty easy defensive situation now for Harrisburg with the bases loaded. Every ground ball comes home for the outfield. Any fly ball has to come home, because the only runner that Harrisburg is concerned about right now is Lincoln Keenholz at third base. Gaden at second, Hinkle at first mean nothing right now. You really have to, if you're Harrisburg, you've got to do everything possible to keep that run from third, to keep him from scoring. Otherwise, this ball game is over. We've already seen Garrett Stout have one walk-off hit this year.
He's had a walk-off grand slam. He's also ended ball games on 2 different occasions, a 10-run rule with a home run. And I was going to say, if Stout comes up with 2 outs in second and third, or just a runner on with 2 outs, so you don't want to try and hit a home run. I'm not saying he should try and hit one for the fences here, but with 1 out, a fly ball to the outfield that would win you the ball game. So maybe a more type of a home run swing from Stout would be a better situation than just trying to put the ball in play. Obviously, the last thing you want is a strikeout. First pitch, that one's chopped over the head and through for a base hit, and Stout has a walk-off single, and Post State wins game number 1. 3-2, they come back down 2-0. Garrett Stout has done it again, and they dogpile out in right field. They got another win to go here tonight. They got to protect their starter in game number 2, but Post State wins it 3-2 in game number 1 on a walk-off single from Garrett Stout. And 1 win away now from clinching a spot in the state tournament. Back in 3 minutes to wrap this one up. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today it's KCCR. Today it's KCCR.com. We welcome you back here to Hyatt Stadium as Game 1 wraps up. And hey, how about that? Post State down 2-0. They come back and win it 3-2, scoring 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and having a walk-off single from Garrett Stout. As welcome in Coach Nathan Nas in the broadcast booth. And Coach, that is a big win to not only get Game 1, but you beat the number 1 starter for Harrisburg. I mean, you do everything to kind of get all the momentum on your side right now.
Yeah, that was huge. Can't understate. Excuse me, I gotta use my words here. But yeah, just the confidence that we have now going into Game 2, knowing we got our number 1 on the mound, knowing we got by their number 1 is big.
Jack Van Camp, he throws a very good game. I mean, you give up 2 runs in 6 innings. That gives your team a chance to win. And Post State did have 1 error, but you guys are able to work around that. And it's a big start for Van Camp, especially now if you get into the state tournament. He won't be available on Friday, but will be available on Saturday. That's a lot of confidence going into that state tournament. Yeah,
we got out of Jack exactly what we needed to get out of him. We talked all week that, these guys can swing the bat, and we saw it with their opposite field home run from the Rayburn kid, and he's really good. But we talked to our pitchers all week about being in the zone, throwing strikes early, and if they are going to hit a bomb, don't give them free bases. Make it be a solo shot like that, and it hurts a whole lot less.
Yeah, and you guys have 5 hits. They have just 2 hits in the ball game. They got them both in the 5th inning. You guys were able to spray around 5 hits and took advantage of a pass ball to score the 1 run. Had an error to get Coverdale over to third base for Andy Gordon to get the 2nd run, and then took advantage of the walks in the error in the 7th inning. I mean, that's the name of the ball game, is taking advantage of the mistakes the other team had, and you guys had the fewer mistakes and took advantage of the mistakes that Harrisburg gave you.
Yeah, we definitely minimized the mistakes, and even when they got a couple base runners on, I believe it was in that 5th inning there. They got 2 guys on, 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and Jack did a really good job minimizing there. And then, the guys did a really good job of when we double play we hit into there with the bunt. We did a really good job of taking advantage of everything. And then guys' approaches at the plate, we talked to him about just, it doesn't take anything big, just do a job. Andy Gordon with his hit, he throws hard. He's really good. Going away with it, outside fastball, he took it out into the opposite field, and then Garrett just doing a good job getting his foot down, getting his timing down, and putting the ball in play and finding a hole.
And I know that this is the 2nd or 3rd walk-off hit in the season that wins the ball game, not just a 10-run rule, actually wins the ball game. That's another testament for your guys that no matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is, you guys have the opportunity and can play from behind.
Yeah, we've done a really good job, especially late in the season, of staying composed no matter the situation and making the most out of every situation. And it's big when you have Lincoln Keenholtz, who just got done with his freshman year of high school, stepping in there and taking a 85, 86 mile an hour fastball from a kid that's getting scouted by MLB teams right off the elbow. So just doing those little things right and just selfless play is what's really the string together a successful season.
So now you have Garrett Stout, your number 1 on the hill in game number 2, trying to not go to game number 3. Matt Lusk, who 7th inning, he's in a good spot where and maybe it depends on the situation you guys are in, but he could come back and throw in this game and still potentially could even throw tomorrow too.
Yeah, we'll use Matt a lot like we did here. If G can come out and do a good job, keep it close or get us on top, and then we get to that 7th inning or 6th, 7th inning, Matt will be the guy we go to there, and he's done a really good job coming out of the bullpen. Sometimes having to get hot on not a lot of opportunities down there in the bullpen, but he does a good job coming out of the bullpen, and that's more than likely what we'll look to do again.
What's the number 1 thing here to finish this off tonight and not have to go play tomorrow?
We just got to be confident. I think walk-off win and having the crowd that we have here tonight, there is a boatload of people here, and there's still time to get here if you weren't able to make it for the first one, but just being confident, not doing too much, staying within ourselves, and I think hopefully if we do that, Harrisburg will get to go home tonight and not have to play tomorrow.
That's right, and you guys will be on your way to where wherever it might be for that state tournament this coming weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Coach, appreciate the time. Congratulations on win one. Good luck in game two.
Thank you. Appreciate everything you and Greg do for us calling these games, making a lot of traveling, and we appreciate what you guys do too.
Coach Nathan Nas of Post State, as is a 3-2 win here for the Eights in game number one. We'll bring Greg back in here before we kind of step aside and have news director Zach Nelson, his evening news come in here soon. But Greg, in the game number one here for Post State, a 3-2 walk-off win. You kind of asked Coach Nas about that win to get that walk-off win, but that is another reason why this team is a resilient bunch. It shows another example of this team being a resilient bunch, and one that, because they've done it before in the regular season, it's not an easy thing to do, but one that's more realistic to do.
Yeah, and when you are able to come from behind more than once, or win some games in your last at bat, you just have a level of confidence going into those late innings. And a lot of teams probably would have folded, being down 2-0 going to the bottom of the fifth inning against, like we said, probably one of the, if not the best pitchers in the state of South Dakota right now in Chase Mason. And what did Post State do? Put up a run in the fifth, a run in the sixth, and then that big walk-off run here in the bottom of the seventh. But I tell you what, maybe the guy who doesn't get as much credit, and we haven't talked about him a lot, but let's give a lot of kudos to Jack Van Camp. I mean, he threw a whale of a ball game today. This is a lineup that's just very scary. I mean, if you look at average wise, they're not gonna probably knock your socks off when you look at their batting averages. But the fact that they hit their 40th home run as a team today, you cannot make a mistake any place in this lineup, and you're gonna pay for it. And Jack Van Camp went 6 innings, only gave up 2 hits, one of them being the home run to Rayburn, but 2 runs, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. Actually had matched Mason in strikeouts, each throwing 9 today. So if it's easy to pick out Garrett Stout with the walk-off hit. It's easy to pick out Andy Gordon with the big hit to tie the game in the 6th inning. But if I'm picking an MVP for this game, I think I'm picking Jack Van Camp.
And Greg, you said it too. They hit their 40th home run, and you look at the stats. There's not a single guy that has double-digit home runs. So it's not just one guy in the order that's got half their home runs, like you would look for Garrett Stout, who's got half the team's home runs for Post State. It's everybody in the order up and down. So when Jack Van Camp had a leadoff home run against him in the top of the 5th inning, the wheels could have easily fallen off, because it's not saying, their best guy hit their home run. He's the only guy that hits home runs. Well, everybody in the lineup can hit a home run. And so you have to work around giving up a leadoff home run to multiple guys that can hit home runs, and he did a very good job. And to have that only be a 2-0 lead for Harrisburg after the top of the 5th inning, that is where the non-offensive game was won for Post State.
Yeah, and there are seven hitters in that Harrisburg lineup that have 2 or more home runs. In Pierre's lineup, there's 2. So I mean, that's just the difference in the teams. And if you look at the scoreboard, and Rob Coverdale was spot on as he walked out of here after the first game was over. If you look at the scoreboard, that's just indicative and reflective of how these two teams play. Pierre over twice as many hits, 5-2. Harrisburg with the only home run on the day, but Pierre better defensively, 1 error to Harrisburg's 2, and it really was the miscues that cost Harrisburg the game there in the bottom of the 7th. The hit batter, the overthrow to first base to put runners in scoring position, and then like I said, the walk-off chopper for Garrett Stout. So a lot of credit to Post State for, like you said, we'll say resilient. That's a great word, and hopefully now, coming into game 2, riding a wave of momentum, and now Post State gets to throw their number one. I think we've talked about it before. Stout and Van Camp are pretty much 1 and 1A. I'm not sure one of them's the ace and one of them's the number 2 guy. I think they're 1 and 1A, and you pick which one's 1 and which one's 1A. But I tell you, Post State's sitting in a very enviable situation right now, being up 1-0 and being able to trot out Garrett Stout here in game 2.
The other scores, we had just one final score so far, and that is a 2-1 win for Renner over Watertown. Mitchell and Brandon Valley are going to the bottom of the seventh. Mitchell is winning over Brandon Valley 1-0, as those were the first two finals, and that third one that's an inning to go. And for Post 22 and the Post 320 Hard Hats, let's see here, as it's a 4-1 lead for the Hard Hats in the bottom of the third inning. So the only so far the games that have been the seventh inning or final, the lower seed has won the first game of those best of three. We will step aside here, and we will news director Zach Nelson will have his evening news for you. We'll step aside for 4 minutes. We'll have that news, and we'll come back here in just a little bit and start to get you set for game number 2 between Post State and Harrisburg. Post State wins game number 1, 3-2. We'll be back here in just a little bit with game 2. You are listening to Post State baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com.